All right, this is the second race of the day. We have Bowden against Roger Williams. The Polar Bears are in 1, 2, and 3, the red boats, and the Raj is in 16, 17, 18. Again, similar to the Harvard race, we have a westerly, pretty shifty, along with a cross current. You can see the committee boat there pointing into the current. So start begins. We have maybe one pair, maybe two. It's a little bit unclear right away. At least boat one was bow behind at the start. Big left shift right off the line. So we have a foul here with boat two. So just kind of going back to that start there, with such a cross current and the pin being so favored, it's pretty important, I think, to be leading your pair into the line, especially when you can tell that there's a big left shift kind of coming down the race course and you want to immediately kind of get the port. That gets you to the shift faster and thus up the race course faster. So we're pretty quickly setting up into maybe a play four, or maybe we're chasing 1, 5, 6 here. Again, fleet racing is pretty important. We look like, we clearly have one pair with boat three. Two is in a chase, and we can't see boat one on the left of the screen right now, but in this really light air, we got to still be really aggressive about our boat handling here. So we have imbalance here, boat two with 16, so we might be able to have a situation here. Getting pretty spread out pretty quickly, but two is going for starboard advantage at the top of the cone here, which is pretty advantageous, as was demonstrated in that first race with Harvard. Some of our boat handling is just way too timid relative to these other boats, but boat two is going to at least, looks like they're going to pick at least one or two boats and maybe have the three here. So here, this is a situation we found ourselves in a lot. So when you're in the one, yes, you want to protect the one, but if you have such a big lead, you're not helping your teammates. So right here, we're play one, but because our first place boat is 10 boat lengths ahead, we can't do anything about it. So we're allowing the other team to instantly try to play back on our guy when we could be, playing forward for the play one. So the one needs to stay way, way, way more in touch with the race than we did this past weekend. We can kind of see this, that the Raj is kind of going right after us here. We're 1, 3, 6. And when we could be potentially 1, 2 if we make the pass back happen pretty quick. So the one being that far in front is not really helping us out. So now we're kind of maybe back to a play four. We're 1, 4, 6 or 1, 4, 5. Pretty condensed, so there's a lot kind of going on. I think downwind when you're in the one, we can give ourselves a little bit more room. 2 boat lengths of a lead downwind is appropriate. Upwind, 1 boat length is probably what we want to be doing. And I think in general, we just give ourselves way, way, way too much cushion here. So I think it's good. Boat 2 is going high. The high road here paid a lot early Saturday morning. That's just getting pressure was super key. I think the other thing is understanding where our positioning is relative to other boats. 2 kind of got taken out a little bit there. We might now be in a play. We're in a 1, 5, 6 potentially. So understanding our overlaps, understanding the jibe backs to starboard. And again, understanding what the current's going to do. So anytime you jibe to starboard on the run, you're getting down current, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but you have to, pick the times when you want to go down current. And understanding that when you're on port, you're fighting the current the whole time and you're going pretty slow. So, it's tricky deciding when you want to go down current for speed and up current in slow stuff. So we are rounding here, potentially 1-3. They're doing a good job of holding the trap as long as they can. It's pretty condensed. We're like 1-3, 1-4, 6. So here again, the one's got to try to really eliminate this gap because we have a play one opportunity, and if we're close, we can pounce on this play one, and if we're far away, it's hard for us to do that. So this is like that 3-boat reach pass back drill that we work on a lot, where 2 can help push boat 17 into boat 3 on this course, but we have 17 has really kind of eliminated that gap here. And again, this reach is going directly into the current, so it's super slow. A lot of compression on this one here. So as boat 2 gets bow behind, I think we need to transition what our play is. We're probably, I don't know, it depends if we're play 1 or play 4. I think Dapple does a good job here with the hook. He gets 2 of their guys to jibe away, and now we have a quick play 1. So that was a nice move, and you got to always be paying attention to that. But I think we end up having a little bit of a breakdown in terms of our zone coverage here, right? So our first boat tacks, right? And ideally, they are likely going to take 18, but in this case, it looks like our boat 3 has a pretty good pin. So we have our pairs here. 3 is going to stay with 18. 2 is going to stay with 17, and we need to just balance up the race course. So again, when we talk about balance, we're just trying to use our wind shadow to make sure that our teammate stays ahead of the other teammates. So we're in a right shift here. 2 has to really slow 17, a lot with positioning and less with over trimming main and luffing jib, but all they're trying to do is slow it down so that our 2 teammates stay out in front, and at the same time, boat 3 needs to slow their guy down so that our 2 boats stay ahead on the same ladder rung. So now we have potentially a switch, and it doesn't look like it's a good switch because 17 has leverage to our right. 18 is building off our hip on starboard, so we have a lot to kind of deal with there. So that switch there was, I would say, a net loss for the team. Now, boat 2 has to tack and duck, and now we went from controlling 2 pairs to not necessarily controlling 2 pairs. This is me getting on the pier so we can have a better vantage point of the finish. And when it's shifty like this, we need to cover with leverage, all right? So that means you have to have your bow out with more leverage than the boats you're trying to protect against. Erin's doing a good job. She gained an ace here, and just keeping the ace between her and the finish, we're kind of letting them get away with a little bit more leverage than we may think here. Boat 1 really wanted to stay on that boat that tacked, and now we're coming into the finish here. Very vulnerable with 2 of their boats with further right leverage than us coming into the finish. Erin's got a pretty good puff here, but I think our discipline, we became pretty undisciplined there, and we had an easy 1-2 that kind of broke down. We still won the race, but we really did everything we could to let them get back into it.